in Italian? Or was that just a rumour? She is the stunt coordinator for all the Star Wars Enterprise. Did you know that? Yeah, she was spotted on Gladiators and was then asked to start doing stunt work. So she did some of the James Bond and then was body doubling for Angelina Jolie. And Hollywood just thought, she's just cracking, she's brilliant, she did a world of martial arts behind her. And so she's unfazed by anything, got a brilliant brain, and now she's stunt coordinator for the Star Wars Enterprise. But that's not why we're here this afternoon. You're here this afternoon because you are fans of the Umbrella Academy, is that right? Woo-hoo! So without further ado, please welcome to the stage Tom and Emmy. Hello guys, take a seat. Welcome, welcome. Hello, how are you?
Hello everyone.
Say hello to Tom, don't be shy. All these blushing smiles.
Are you all socially distanced, or is there just these gaps because there's not enough people?
Oh, they've all fallen out, no. Well, we've got lovely mics, which again, I'll let you all come up to the microphones during our chat this afternoon. So if you've got any questions for the guys, I'd like you to present them to them personally. Is that okay? Yeah! Alright, let's make a start. The Umbrella Academy. How did it all come about? And what is the synopsis and general premise of the show for people like me who are not totally across it, but I'm aware it's a big thing and it's out there, and you guys are stars because of it, or you're here today because of it. Emmy, let's start with you.
Oh, dang, I was going to bump that to you.
You can hand it over to Tom if you
We'll do
want.
it together.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically the show is... I'll take over, you've seen that. The show is about a bunch of siblings, adopted siblings, and they're all born on the same day. And this rich billionaire man, Reginald Hargreaves, decides to adopt 7 of them, and they're all born in these mysterious circumstances. They're all born on the same day, and the premise is that none of the women who gave birth to them were pregnant as the day began. They just gave birth to these children magically. And Reginald Hargreaves adopts 7 of them. And then they all have these superpowers as they grow up. So they become this superhero team sort of thing. And we pick up the start of the show when they're all 30 and the father has died and they've all disbanded and they all come back together for his funeral. And then shit starts to go down.
Really, and the world needs them. Is it true that this is from the mind of somebody who was actually a creative already as a musician?
Yes.
A pop writer? Tell me a little bit about him before we get back to how this may have come about for him to create such an idea for a show.
You're actually a My Chemical Romance fan, so I'll let you all take that away.
Yeah, so I was a fan of My Chemical Romance, the band that Gerard Way was the lead singer of. And he wrote the Umbrella Academy graphic novel years ago.
While they were on tour, right?
Yeah.
He was like in the back of their tour bus.
Just like
Coming
writing
up with the
away.
Umbrella Academy,
Got
yeah.
time for that on
Yeah.
tour?
So it's,
Incredible.
apparently so. Around the drugs and alcohol, you know.
Where some of your best ideas
Or some of the best ideas come out of drugs and alcohol. I guess.
Allegedly, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, he came up with the idea and wrote this graphic novel, and then this illustrator, Gabriel Bar, a Brazilian illustrator, did all the pictures for it, and it's just a really visually stunning graphic novel. I mean, I remember when I first read it, and they were making a TV show, and I read the comic, and it's like, I remember just seeing this, well actually I saw a picture of the character that I was up for, and he just had a huge body and a small head. I was like, I reckon I could do that. That's all I got.
So did you start reading when you knew you were up for it, or you were a fan already?
Yeah, so I was a fan of My Chemical Romance, but in terms of Umbrella Academy, the graphic novel, I hadn't read it yet, no. I knew that Gerard had written a comic, but I hadn't read it. So I was a big fan of his music before anything else. Like, I grew up on it, like, through my teens and stuff, so Yeah, it was really nice to get to meet him under these circumstances and talk to him about the character and everything. And he's such a lovely guy. Like you realise when you meet him that all this wacky stuff has come from this brain. You know, you kind of get it.
I've often thought that. I've mentioned earlier, I work as a psychotherapist, so I know there are many people inside of our oneself at any time. You know, you say, oh, I don't feel like myself today. So which self do you feel like? A writer lives in those dimensions, like one person's creating this whole field of fantasy and story and journey, and I get so fascinated by it. Before we come back to exactly how you both got involved and your characters and our many questions from the audience, acting for both of you. Have you been acting well before this, and why was acting a choice of career? Just a personal thing before we go into Umbrella Academy.
I was a very hyperactive child. I was really loud and played sports and was a Girl Scout and, you know, was doing a bunch of different activities, and I think my parents, it just was like whatever they could get me to do outside of the house because I was so loud. And they put me in theater because I started singing, I think when I was like 5, around the house, and my mom was like, maybe there's like something there, we'll just put her in theater. So I started doing community theater when I was 5. And out of all my other extracurricular activities, theater was kind of the one that stuck. Yeah, and then the sports kind of fell away, and what was left was theater. And so I ended up going to performing arts high school, and then I moved to New York City and went to college for theater, and then worked on Broadway for almost a decade, which is wild. And that's kind of where it started for me. It kind of started with music and then dancing and acting, and then kind of have somehow found myself in TV and film now, and that's, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The rest is history, as they say. Tom, for you?
Yeah, I mean, similar to Emmy really, you know, like goofed around a lot as a kid and always was kind of performative, I suppose. But yeah, my background was in like sport and stuff at school, and then found myself doing a drama class at school, and just really got a kick out of it. And I actually remember one of the things I enjoyed the most about it was the performative element that was like likened to sport. Like I really enjoyed having a team of people going on stage together and doing something collaborative together. And the idea is to get a win, and the win is for them to enjoy your performance and enjoy your performance as a show. And there's a lot of parallels there for me going into it. And yeah, I just kind of fell in love with it. I got the bug, I suppose, and then I decided that's what I wanted to do. And yeah, and I've been, you know, very fortunate to be part of some amazing productions, you know, along the way before getting to do Umbrella Academy, which is just a joy to do every day. So yeah, I feel very fortunate to be doing the career we do.
And so, correct me, you've just finished, is it season 3?
Yeah.
You can't give any spoilers as to what's coming up, this next one to look forward to?
No.
No.
I was going to follow your lead on that. I was like, well,
just go straight with,
you get in
no.
trouble, I guess I'm getting in trouble. No, it is arguably our best season yet, is what we felt shooting it, but also the people that, you know, are working on it right now in post and editing it are kind of saying that as well. So I think if you like season 1 and 2, I think season 3 is really, the show in a weird way, it feels like it's really found its groove now, and yeah, we're kind of, it has its own vocabulary, like, and it's really, really set in that, and it's kind of exciting to watch it.
Yeah, I think everything that all, you know, fans of the show have loved for the first 2 seasons, I think we've really figured out what that is, and there's just much more of that, and new things to explore as well. So it's, we've got a lot of new characters in this season as well, which is really fun.
Lots of new dynamics.
Yeah.
Fabulous, exactly. That just could just go on
Yeah.
in all directions. And that's what I love about the creative process and writers. And I would imagine the writers up until now have been taking some of the direction and inspiration from how you developed within your characters.
Yeah,
what you bring as the clay as actors.
Yeah, and also, you know, the first 2 seasons, so, you know, I think the show being based off a pre-existing, you know, piece, I think was trying to find the happy medium between the screen and the graphic novel, and the second season as well. But this season, I think we've kind of ventured off on our own road, which I think is really exciting. So it's kind of like you have the things that you're going to get from the third graphic novel, but they've really took a left-hand turn into kind of their own. Now we're just kind of in our own world, which is exciting.
I like that. Sell the sizzle, not the sausage. We've got people lined up on our mics for the questions, so let's hand over to you guys. Let's start at number 1 and we'll go around. What's your name?
I'm Amelia, and I was wondering if you could play any other part in the show, who would it be?
That's the obvious one.
Yeah. I feel like Hargreaves would be really fun.
Hargreaves would be fun.
He's got the best wardrobe, that's for sure.
I like to give Pogo a bash.
That was my other one. But you know, Pogo had an unfortunate demise, so.
Yeah.
Didn't they
You
all?
got some time off, didn't you? So.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to number 2.
Hello,
Hi.
my name's Georgia, and I wanted to ask, what was the favourite scene that you filmed out of any of the scenes throughout all the seasons?
I was thinking about this earlier, and I think probably one of my favourites is the elevator scene in season 2.
Go on.
Well, I think it's our favorite because we were trapped in that elevator for so many hours.
Yeah.
And I think the reason it's so fun was like the things that aren't in the actual show is like, well, there's a little bit of it in the blooper reel that's out, but like.
Yeah. But it was,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I think as well, when you're all trapped in an elevator together, you start getting really silly and stupid. And
Really silly.
pranks start happening and
Yeah.
people start farting for real.
Yeah.
I thought that would be in there.
Yeah. I did enjoy that sequence, the elevator into the tiki bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, exploding pineapple moment. But then
Yeah,
I
that
also
whole
really-
scene was great, actually.
Yeah, and then I loved our dance in the first season. That's
Yeah.
still like, I'll still hold a flame for that dance.
Yeah.
It's good. Ooh,
It was good.
it's I just am still really impressed with you, my friend.
I was impressed with my
Myself. You really nailed it.
feet. Wait, guys, you can do that?
Yeah. Turns out
Wow.
we're not both left.
Yeah.
It's good.
I was surprised.
Did you have a choreographer come to set or?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we spent like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, 3 or 4
like,
weeks
Yeah, a
learning it.
couple rehearsals a week.
And that's what I love about Umbrella Academy, is that you never know what's around the corner. When we signed on for the show, we didn't know we'd be doing an episode where we do this crazy dance and stuff. You know, you.
I thought I'd left that behind. I was like, bye,
Yeah.
Broadway.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
Steve was like, do you want to dance in the show? I was like, oh, dang it.
Yeah,
You
I
got me.
definitely didn't know it was in front of me. That's for sure. So it was, but you never know what's coming in this show. You know, we get thrown a lot of curveballs, and it's great. You know.
I think that's also what's so great about Steve, our showrunner, and just working on the show is, you know, they really write for our talents and what we're capable of, and you know, I got to cover stormy weather in the first season, so that's on the soundtrack, and that was like just a little extra thing, and you know, just Steve wanting to put, you know, and he's so unbelievable at the fights and the stunts and you know, all the physical stuff, and so him and David, they do so much of their own. They spend hours and hours in the dojos working with Tommy
Love it.
and Rick, our stunt and fight coordinators, and so they really write for us, especially now going into a third season. They're really great at finding out, you know, what we like and what we're good at and what our strengths are.
That's kind of like art reflecting reality.
Yeah.
We've got these actors who can do these things.
Yeah.
Love it. And I love it when production crews and creatives pick up on that.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Thank you. Does that answer that for you?
Definitely, thank you.
Thank you. Let's go up to, everyone going around, go up to number 4. I'm just going to keep going around clockwise. 4.
My name's Ava, and I was wondering, do you think Klaus did find love with Dave?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That,
100%.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dave.
Good
Yeah.
old Dave.
Poor Dave. No, I think he's really torn up about it. Yeah, I think that was probably the first time he loved anyone other than himself. To be honest.
Or heroin.
Yeah. Or vodka.
And Ava, I love your voice.
Yeah.
Isn't that gorgeous? Thank you. Okay, number 3.
Obviously, like,
both the characters and like all the characters in the show do really like frustrating and bad things sometimes. So did you ever get like handed a script and be like, why would they do that? That's so ridiculous. Like, did it ever like affect you emotionally the way the characters acted?
Yeah, I think, I think I've been surprised by choices Allison has made. I don't know that I've ever been like upset because I think I can find the justification for them. But I also think like Steve and the writers are really great at any time that we have any questions or feel like there's a rub in the script for our characters, and you know, because Steve and the writers are responsible for every storyline, but I'm only responsible for Allison, and he's only responsible for Luther, and so I think we're kind of on a one-track mind, whereas the writers and our showrunner are responsible for everybody. So I think we have a lot of conversations when things kind of feel like out of character for these characters, and you know, that's just a very open door policy kind of on our show to be able to talk through things that feel weird or disingenuine to what's happening with our character.
That's a really good question.
It's
So if you
great.
think that, don't you, when you're watching really good stuff that's usually really well written, then you think, God, would there ever be a jar or something, and how much would you then be handed back?
Yeah.
Thinking that doesn't sit with where I would be playing her from or him from.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
Thank you. And number one, hello, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Joe. I was a student there from my school, Mr. Coyne. Okay.
Hands up, all the students. Oh, brilliant.
Okay, I've got a question for either or both of you. To Emmy, having been an accomplished singer on Broadway and a great actor, do you see yourself as an actor who can sing or a singer who can act? And to Tom, do you get worried you're going to get stereotypes in the roles you get given in the future?
Wow, those are singers.
As in, I only do roles with a giant muscle suit from now on. Where are you going at?
Covered in hair.
You tend to play like strong role models of aggressive males in a role, like the one you did in the Channel Tongue, etc.
Yeah.
When you're going to get given roles like that from now on, or you're going to get something like, I don't know, Bridgerton or something like that, or...
I hope not. I don't know, not really. I never think about that. I only think about the opportunities in front of me, really, and things that I want to do. So I never really think about, I don't worry about stuff like that, because I don't think it serves me to think that would be a problem. And also, I really love working. Whenever I work in it, it's something that I connect with. It's usually because I've chosen to do it because I connect with it, right? So I think I'm starting to do, there's some things I'm doing that will come out next year, which might be away from that a little bit, actually. So I always like to do those kind of roles because I enjoy the action. And I like to think that a lot of the roles that I choose aren't aggressive males, and actually some of the ones that I have a softer side, and they're like going against that, actually, that stereotype that the big tough guy is actually soft on the inside, and go against that a little bit. So yeah, I'd like to think that that won't happen, actually. But the future is long for actors, you know, you have a long career, so you have to kind of reinvent all the time anyway, so yeah. Certainly not looking to be in Bridgerton anytime soon.
Actor who can sing or a singer who can act?
I'm really struggling with this. I don't know. I feel like when I'm in the theater space, I feel like a singer that is acting through song. And then when I'm on the screen, I think it's tricky because with Umbrella Academy, like, it doesn't ask me to call on that side of myself, and so I definitely feel like an actor who also has this other thing that I can do that is kind of, you know, just on the back burner. But if I'm one or the other, I think it just depends on what medium I'm in. I feel like an actor who can sing when I'm working in TV and film, and then when I'm on the stage, I definitely feel like a singer who's acting through song.
Thank
So
you.
I'm not really answering your question. A little bit of both.
That's fine, it's just that you're a wicked singer.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I see what what you did
Mr.
there.
Coyne, thank you very much, and to your students as well. Give them a round there. Okay, so number 1 up to number 3. Hello.
Hi. I was wondering, like, what do you like and dislike about your characters?
Well, season 1 Luther, I disliked how much he cried. I felt like one crying scene wasn't it, but he's a very depressed man in season 1. But then I like that there's a goofier side to Luther that starts to come out when he gets in the real world through season 2, and I like Luther has this kind of innocence about the way he looks at life, I think, because he's missed a childhood, really, he's not had romance, really, in his life. And so I really like there's a kind of an innocence to him, even though he looks like he should be, like we were saying before, you know, there's a real innocence to him, which I quite like.
I love everything about Allison, so I'm kidding. I mean, I have to love her to live with her for so long, and I do. I think I love her strength, and I love her, I think because her power is what it is, she has to be really selective with what she says and how she says it, and which words she chooses to use, and I think that is something that I have tried to and have started to apply to my life since getting to know Allison and getting to portray her. What I dislike, sometimes I think she gives people in her family too many chances. But I think, you know, I also think, and sometimes I feel like that bites her in the ass, and leaves her quite disappointed often. So yeah, I think she's good at giving, you know, her brothers a hard time, but I think I don't know, there could be a little. I wanted to, you know. You make excuses for family, which I think the Hargreaves family is really good at doing that, and sometimes that annoys me because I'm not like that in real life. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you for that. That's brilliant.
Thank
Okay. There at number 4.
Hi, my name's Jess, and I just want to ask, what was the most difficult part about playing your role?
These are deep today.
I know, I'm really getting stumped.
Most difficult. I mean, the physical aspect of Luther's quite difficult to get used to, but then it ended up becoming so part of him that it became an enhancement to him to play, because as soon as I put that suit on, I'm like, oh, now I feel very much like Luther. It was actually weird when I did the flashback scenes or when I did like the dance with you, feel like out of Luther's body then, because you get so used to being in that big suit. But yeah, that's probably the hardest, because in the summer months where we shoot in Toronto, it gets so hot. I'm just dripping. So hot.
It's pretty.
Yeah, so that's probably the hardest.
Intense. I think the most difficult part is just the physicality of being in a show like this. It's a lot of stunt work and spending time with our, you know, fight coordinators, and we do a lot of wire work, and I love it, but it's, you know, it requires a lot of, you know, Epsom salt baths and taking care of your body and being as prepared as possible, because it's really physical. So it is difficult, but not in a sense of like complaining about it. It's just, it is physically challenging to be on a show like this. It requires a lot from you physically, but I also love that challenge being, you know, I was kind of an athlete first, and so I love the physical stuff. It just kind of calls on a part of me that I haven't had to use in a really long time.
That's fantastic. Lovely question. Thank you. Hello, number 2. Who are you?
Hi, my name's Holly, and this is my question. Do you think Alison should have ended up with Raymond or Luther in season 2?
Oh man, tricky. Oh, I think Allison needed to end up with herself. I actually think I think she needs to be alone for a minute.
It's a very political answer, isn't it?
I think I think she will always love Luther. I think their relationship is really special, and I think they have an understanding. And I've never felt like it was lust related. I think it's just they have a connection, and out of all the siblings, they just connected at such a young age and on a really deep level. And then I think, I love that you didn't leave Patrick in there, her actual first husband.
Never gets mentioned.
The father of her child, whatever. Who? But I think Raymond is really special, and I think Raymond, I think he opened up this side of Allison that she didn't know that she had, and taught her how to fight and stand up for herself in a very different way. And so I think she fell in love with him for that, for introducing, a new version of herself to her. And I think she'll be forever grateful for that, but I also think at the end of the day, her biggest and main priority is Claire, and so I think that's kind of her guiding light, is to get back to and hopefully find wherever her daughter is. So I think she, as hard as it was, she made the right choice to not be with anyone, I think.
You.
Non-answer again.
Thank you very much. Hello, number one.
Hi, I'm Emmy, and
Love the name.
as well. If you could choose any of the characters' powers and tackle in real life, which one would you choose?
I'd for sure keep Allison's, for sure. It's dangerous, but I heard a rumor there was no COVID. Great.
Oh, yeah. I would probably have Lila's. It could be anyone.
Yeah, well now you're like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
If we're saying like there's 7 of us, then I'd say 5, because 5 can time travel, which I quite like.
What cheeky, I saw what you did there.
Yeah, you see what I did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Outside the box.
Now, see, yeah. Okay.
Because then it can be anyone's.
Yeah.
Nice one. Thank you. Hello, number 3.
Hello. You've both been in such big productions like Hamilton and Merlin. How different was Umbrella Academy to doing those, especially Emmy, because like Hamilton was on stage and now it's on screen. How does that kind of differ from Umbrella Academy?
I think my biggest thing would be I got to speak in Umbrella Academy more.
What?
Yeah, my character in Merlin barely spoke. Strong silent type.
What?
So that was the major difference.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. Well, he does, but very little. Certainly doesn't cry as much as Luther.
No one cries as much as
No
Luther.
one does. I was dry by the end of that first season. But it's actually like Umbrella Academy is a much bigger production really than what Merlin was. Is the main thing really. Lots more main characters, like lead characters to service and stuff. And we're shooting on cameras that are. I mean, we were the first production or second production in TV to use this very particular kind of camera to make it look very cinematic and filmic. It's called the Alexa 65 for you nerds out there.
Fancy.
Yeah, so it's a much bigger production, so everything takes longer, the lighting and everything, to make it look, to give it that attention to detail.
Yeah, I think getting into the difference between theater and film is a whole other conversation in and of itself. But I think I had never been in front of a camera before until the Umbrella Academy, and so I think for me it is still, I'm constantly learning and constantly trying to absorb as much as I can.
They say it's much smaller, isn't it?